Hello, this is Sierra and welcome to another video. Today we are doing another chapter in the Clockwork Chronicles, Book 4. We are doing chapter 29, and we'll see how it goes from there. You obviously know by the title of the video, though, before I do. So, who's it like doing that? 29. Haven't read any other, if you haven't read any of the other chapters, be sure to do so. Oh, here we have spoilers. And you probably will have questions about how things were and how what happened. So, yeah, it's kind of helpful. A couple of weeks had passed since everything had happened. Nettie was recovering relatively well, and Sam could finally feel confident in the idea of bringing her home safely. She seemed strong enough and determined enough, but it would also be hard to say goodbye to Yami and Lauren, who had both been a big help during this time. Sam was sitting in the main room, waiting for the others to be ready. It was going to be a wild adventure, a little risky on his friend's part. They were returning to Nettie's place first to drop her off. Sam wouldn't know whether or not one of the people there might try to hurt Stampy during that time, but the cat had been insistent. He wanted to make sure she did get home safely. Sam couldn't really blame him for that. She'd been attacked shortly after they had left. He had every reason to fear for her safety. He already had everything he was going to need to go on this mini adventure, a journey to get everyone safely home. He would be there every step of the way. It had to be worth it. Making sure everyone was where they belonged was important. He just hoped that no one would attempt to ruin it for a long while, but he never could be so sure. A few minutes passed before he heard the sound of footsteps coming down the stairs. Sam looked up to see Stumpy reach the bottom, his expression firm and set, but warming towards the young boy. "Do you have everything?" Sam asked curiously. "Yeah, I believe so," Ken added with a smile. The smile slowly faded as he added, "I'm gonna miss it here a little." "Same," the boy replied. "But you are much safer in your lovely world. It's a place you know best." "Agreed." The cat smiled slyly. "From now on, I think I might hide some secrets inside some of the buildings, in case something does happen and we need time." "I'm good with that," Sam agreed, "so long as those men don't figure it out." "Oh, don't worry. I'll definitely make sure they won't know what's going on," the cat mused. "I could certainly take some ideas from the safe house." "True, but then it might be better if you come up with your own," the boy added. "We do have to worry about some of those people knowing about those secrets." "Right," the cat nodded. "Looks like it's something the helpers and I will have to work on when we get home." "It's good to see that you have a plan for when you get home," Yami's voice called from the kitchen. Two of them looked over to see her walk to the room. "If I can find a way to make it harder for those men to get to me or my friends, I'll do it," the cat replied. "They've already outsmarted us too many times. It's about time I do the same." "I'm sure you'll do great," the young YouTuber said with encouragement. "Thank you," the cat said with appreciation as Squishy and Eddie arrived down the stairs, walking into the room. "Is everyone ready to go?" the boy asked his friends. "I am as ready as I'll ever be," Nettie admitted humbly. "You sure the two of you can't come with us?" "We need to stay close, just in case anything happens and we need to act," the young woman explained. "I know Sam will do just fine as an escort." "I'll do my best," the boy replied. "Just stay safe, all right?" "We will," Yami said with a smile, as the three friends walked out of the house, down towards the trees. And the four friends walked out of the house and down towards the trees in the woods. The boy knew where they were going, confident that they could get them safely. It would go a few moments, but finally arrived at the portal, just as he'd found it weeks earlier. He couldn't believe they were able to go and return to Nettie's world before going to the lovely world. He just hoped this would be a smooth transition. "You know, I could go from here," Baby replied. "I don't want to risk anyone getting hurt." "No, you'll be too vulnerable going alone," Stubby replied. "We aren't getting separated again. Not until we know everything will be fine." "That's final." "Okay," she replied with a nod, not wanting to say any more or argue with her brother. Sam went over to the portal and checked the coordinates to make sure everything was set. As he did so, he stepped back to his friends. Here's what we're going to do, the boy replied. In order to make sure that we don't get separated, we need to hold hands through the portal. Why? Squishy has some puzzlement. I don't know completely sure what caused the portal to change coordinates, the boy told her. It won't happen this time, though. It's just precaution. That's okay, the kid said, holding out a paw for the boy. Grab. The boy did so, as he saw the two girls do the same. After everyone was settled, they walked into the portal and stepped through, the boy closing his eyes as the white light momentarily blinded. They managed to step onto the other side of the portal, the boy seeing right away that they had indeed arrived at their destination. So far, everything seemed good. There didn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary or sketchy about their surroundings. We made it, Nettie finally said with relief. Yeah, Declan added. I'm sure your friends will be excited to see you again. I know, she chuckled. It's sad we couldn't have anyone waiting for us. We don't want a staged attack or anyone to know we're here, the boy told her. Once again, a precaution. Good to know you thought of things through, she said with an understanding. I have to, the boy told her, and they began walking through the woods towards where the town would be. It didn't take them long before they finally arrived at the town. Everything seemed to appear the same as they'd left it, with a few buildings being scuffed up and worse for wear. There were a few men wandering around the town, looking at shops and little stands that were scattered around the place. It took perhaps 5 seconds for some of the people there to recognize who was approaching, and the boy could hear them calling out to Nettie, rushing over to her. You're okay, one of them said happily. Yeah, she said with a smile. Where is everyone else, though? Most of them are inside for safety reasons, another one of them said. Then he looked over at the others. I think this is good. She's in good hands now. Are you sure? Kat asked, not relenting, looking awfully skeptical. Why would you like to know? Zerdwin asked, suspiciously. I'm her brother. I have a right to know, especially after what happened, the cat replied. I'm not leaving until I know she's okay. She's in safe hands, the first man replied simply, gesturing for them to follow. I believe there's some people waiting for her to return. Care to join us? Sam noticed the cat hesitate for a moment, a reluctant expression on his face, as he glanced over at his other friends. I suppose it'll be all right. Only for a few moments, though. Don't worry, I'll be fine, Eddie assured him. I won't mind if you want to go home. Like he said, it shouldn't take long, Kat said with a shrug, smiled. We'll be off once we know everything's all okay. All right, she replied with a sigh, finally allowing her brother to win this one. There was a look of unease on her face as she nodded for the men to lead the way. The boy didn't blame her. There was no telling if there was anyone out there in town who might take up the chance to hurt Stampy if it ever arose, but they would be careful. Alright, we move to the next chapter. Quick week, chapter 30. This is gonna be a long one now, so. Stampy found himself wide awake later that night, unable to sleep. They'd returned from his sister's world hours earlier, ensuring she had returned home safely. He wasn't sure why that was. There was nothing to be worried or afraid of. They had returned home safely without any interruptions from anyone who would cause him, or those he cared about, harm. Mr. A had disappeared completely, and he knew RJ couldn't be anywhere near his sister. Her friends wouldn't allow him to harm her again. Why was he so nervous then? The cat climbed out of his bed after a few hours of restless wakefulness, unsure of what he should do. He was alone in his bedroom, except for a slumbering Barnaby. Simply seeing the dog, and so calm, should have been able to relieve his unease, but didn't. Something didn't seem right. Never had since he returned home. Maybe ever since he rescued his sister. Was someone watching him again? Why did it always feel like that? It didn't feel threatening, nor did it feel comforting. It just felt like something was off. Just couldn't place where it was. He let out a sigh and he went over to his balcony and opened the door, stepping out into the cool evening of his first night home from the lovely world. How long had he been unable to have a good night's sleep? He knew his sister was safe. He'd been with her for weeks, hoping to help her recover from what those men had done to her. What about himself, though? Why did he feel so strange? Someone out there? The cat called out into the night. After a long moment of silence, he wasn't even sure whom or what he was calling to. Just felt something there. Something he couldn't explain. Silence only grew as he stared off in the starry night sky, starting to fruitlessly count them, not knowing what else he could do. Fortunately, he didn't get far when he heard a subtle noise above him. Puzzled, the cat looked up, just in time to see a large figure of a man hurtling towards him. The cat screamed as he leapt out of the way, running into his room and closing the door behind him. The cat looked back to see a tall figure on his balcony, watching him, pulling out what appeared to be a sword in his hand. It took him a moment before the cat recognized him. This had been the man who had attacked him back in Eddie's world. Had he followed them back? Why was he attacking now? Pleased to see me, aren't you, cat? The man asked him through the glass window, his dark eyes gleaming with intrigue and amusement as he extended. He's already extended. Whatever. And amusement. Sometimes. What do you want? The cat demanded, watching the man step closer to the window, his lean body structure seeming to cast a long shadow over his cat. Should he try to run for it? Call for help? Would he have time to do that? You know very well what I want, traitor, the man sneered coldly. I want to finish what I started. Make sure to do it the right way this time. What is the right way, then? The cat asked uneasily. She took a step back from the window. You could hear a low growl from behind him, a relieving sign that he wasn't the only one in the room. Oh, wouldn't you like to know? The man sneered as he rose the blade and smashed the window with ease, causing Barnaby to growl even louder in warning. Stampy was almost tempted to tell his canine companion to get help, but he wasn't even sure if it would help much. If you think you can attack me in my own home, you're wrong, the cat replied firmly. My friends are just upstairs, and they'll come running once they know something's up. But can they come in time? The man said with a dark chuckle, adjusting his gaze with a wide grin. Suddenly, the man lunged towards the cat. Stampy instinctively leapt out of the way, extending the iron sword Lauren had given him, dodging the man's next attack, and blocked his blade from hitting its mark. This was the only one man. He could handle it. Just needed an opening to escape. Hope filled him when the man yelped in pain as Barnaby pounced on him, forcing him to step back, attempting to shake the dog off him. The cat took the opportunity to run out of his bedroom. However, as he ran out into the open area and towards the storage room, he realized that someone was blocking it. It was the form of a man 3 times as tall and large as he was, with broad shoulders and a bemused expression on his face. Going somewhere, cat? The man mused as he lunged for Stampy. The cat cried out as he turned to run the opposite direction, running towards the hallway, tearing down the stairs as he saw another man at the end of the hallway. When he saw another man running at the end of the hallway. How had he gotten into his house undetected? How many of them were there? How had he... He had to get away. He couldn't let these men chase him around like this. What could he do, though? Stumpy made it down the stairs as he ran towards the double doors that led to the SS Stumpy and submarine. Maybe he would find some way to escape there. If he could somehow lose these men in the chase. Cat burst through the doors, shoving them open with his shoulder as he heard footsteps pursuing him. His heart was pounding rapidly in his chest as he breathed hard. His mind was frantic for ideas when he heard the sound of what sounded like glass breaking behind him. Stampy yelped in surprise when someone tackled him to the ground as he landed on the deck between his boat and his submarine. One of the men must have used an interpol to pounce on top of him. He was now trapped, with no way of escape. You know you can't run from us forever, the man pinning him down sneered coldly. What are you going to do to me? The cat pleaded, hoping the man would give him some sort of idea or could at least stall him while he tried to find some way to escape. You'll have to wait to see and see, another voice said. The first man he'd found in the bedroom. The man who was probably in charge of the attack. Tie him up and knock him out. We don't want him alerting anyone about what happened. The cat didn't see the man's reaction. The cat knew his captor was doing as he was told, grabbing his arms and pinning them behind him. Please, don't do this, the cat insisted. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. I think we know very well what we're getting ourselves into, the man replied coldly. However, but before the man pinning the cat down could bind his wrists behind him, the cat heard a click to his right, and the sound of dispensers activated, and snowballs began flying, causing the man on top of him to roll off in surprise to avoid the flying projectiles. How is that possible, though? Someone in his ship from firing the snowballs? He was pretty sure he was the only one out here. Was it something else? He wasn't sure. Finding his chance, ignoring the questions swarming within him, as a hope rose up once more, he scrambled to the water and dove in, hearing the first man shouting in anger and alarm. The cat quickly swam himself to the other side of the shore, but as he went to climb out, someone grabbed him and pulled him out of the water. You're a pesky one, aren't you? The man holding him snapped. Well, you won't be getting out of this one that easily. What? The cat started before he gasped with surprise. Something struck him against the head. He slumped over, quickly losing consciousness, hearing the faint sounds of Barnaby barking urgently before he remembered nothing more. Snappy slowly woke from his daze, unsure of where he was or what had happened to him. He could detect a slight headache coming along as he struggled to put everything together. He opened his eyes, blinking as he found himself staring at the grassy ground, seeing his iron boots still on his feet. He looked at the ground with confusion, wondering where he was and why he was out there. The cat could hear faint noises in the distance. Was someone talking? He looked up to see that he was alone. 3 men were standing not too far from him, discussing something amongst themselves. The cat quickly found that he was bound to a tree, not one of the trees that were in this vast area. No, but it's just any plot of land. This was his park. How was he still in his lovely world? His relief was short-lived when one of the men spotted him and walked over to him. Snappy could tell the man would rather be anywhere but here. He looked tired and bored, a look in his eyes craving for something to do. It's good to see you're awake, the man said with a small smile. You slept rather peacefully for some time. Perfect timing, too, since their guest will be arriving shortly. Guest? What are you talking about? The cat snapped, struggling against his restraints. He was so used. He wasn't going anywhere, not unless he had some help. I thought you'd figured it out by now. Pretty good at that. The man sneered. You'll see soon enough. Why not just tell him? One of the other men stated back at him. That traitor's getting what he deserves anyway. Can you please stop calling me that? The cat demanded, firmly. For the last time, I'm not a traitor, and I never have been. The man next to him slapping him across the face. Once. Cat groaning in surprise. Don't talk back to us, traitor. You don't deserve to have any say what happens to you. What is going on? What are you 3 planning? The cat asked. I wouldn't say the 3 of them have much to do with this, one steppy cat. A familiar voice said from behind him. A chill ran up and down the cat's spine as he turned his gaze to see Mr. A walking through the tunnel that led to his funland and straight into the park. The expression of triumph already plastered on his face. What are you doing here? Cat asked. All thoughts of possible escape draining. This man obviously had this planned all of this. It would explain why no one had attacked them in his sister's world. There was no need to. He'd been separated from his friends, captured, and now Mr. A would hear to make sure he'd regret escaping him. I'm here to return something to you, the man said with a sly smile. I believe this belongs to you. Cat's eyes widened when the man extended a diamond sword. It gleamed a purpley pink glow that seemed to illuminate its sharp edges even more. That couldn't be possible. He knew the man had taken everything from him when he'd been kidnapped not too long ago. Where did you get that? The cat demanded. Well, my God gave it to me as a gift, the man said with a casual shrug. I'm sure you know better than I do what this gift was. What are you going to do with that? The cat asked, warily, as the man approached him. Sword blade glinted brightly in the moonlight. He knew what his overpowered sword was capable of. He had been given that blade to a friend, and he'd used it to fight off googlies, and even hit the target at one time. His blade, to be reckoned with, now had gotten under all hands, into the hands of the man who was more than willing and able to kill him. What do you think I'm going to do with it? Show it off? The man snorted, causing the others to chuckle in amazement. No, Stampy cat. I've got plans with this blade, just as I do with you. You won't be getting away from me this time. Stampy slowly shook his head. The wave of fear is threatening to burst, even though he was trying his hardest to push it down. The man hadn't won yet. His friends were still out there, probably looking for him. Were they looking for him? Or was he going to die here alone, just like these men wanted? You can't do this. You don't know what it can do, the cat retorted. You do, and you look pretty terrified about it, the man amused. The man held a finger, but the cat tried to protest. Don't try to tell me otherwise, cat. I know you are, because others have suffered the same fate you will. And there's no escape from that. You don't know that, the cat said firmly. My friends could be here at any moment to stop you. The man laughed and lifted the blade to admire it, now only feet away from his victim. If your friends were here, wouldn't they have tried to stop me by now? You shouldn't underestimate my friends, the cat said boldly. The man shook his head, as if disappointed by the cat's reaction. No, Stampy, you shouldn't underestimate me. Stampy gasped in surprise, and the man stepped forward, pointing his sword at the cat's throat, pricking the cat's gaze slightly, a spark of flame catching before it died out. The man was too close for comfort as he eyed the cat. Finally, after a long moment of silence, he pulled back and smiled decisively. Do you have anything left to say to me now? Or have I made my point? The man asked him, raising an eyebrow. Not afraid of you anymore, the cat stated, hoping it sounded convincing. He wanted to be brave, wanted to make it seem that he was stronger than the man, even though he was currently bound to a tree. The man chuckled once more, glancing over at the other three men, as if to ensure that everything was clear. The cat glanced around, not seeing anyone sneaking up on them, or waiting for the perfect moment of sneak attack. Were his friends coming? Or had the men actually succeeded this time? Couldn't be. His friends would never abandon him, not when he needed them the most right now. Suddenly, the cat heard a soft whine behind him. The cat looked back. He had a dog behind him, jumping up on the trunk of the tree, trying to gnaw on the rope. The dog was wearing a white collar, his brown eyes looking determined and desperate. How had Gregory Jr. found him here? Had he seen Mr. A come to investigate? Had he heard his master from wherever he'd been? Stampy quickly looked away, trying to avoid looking suspicious, as Mr. A looked back at the direction, not seeming to have noticed what was going on. Hope was filling the cat, though. Maybe he had a fighting chance. When he looked at it to his left, he could see a pile of materials, and his sword, and the iron sword that he had borrowed from the other side of the park. The men were blocking his way. If he could get Gregory Jr. or another dog to fetch it for him. What are you thinking about, cat? Mr. A mused, when the cat wiggled on his restraints, feeling them grow loose. Delighted to finally be free of his bonds. Mr. A still held the sword, though. If he couldn't get the weapon away from that man, he could hurt him with it. What could he do with a weapon at disposal? I'm thinking about how my friends and I will stop you, the cat said boldly, as he felt the rope release, as he heard an excited whine behind him, as he leapt away from the tree and lunged for the pile of its belongings. However, before he could get far, he heard a sound like breaking glass. Someone tackled him to the ground. The cat groaned as someone sat on him, pinning him down as he struggled to push whoever was off him. Get off me! Cat shouted, just as a growl came from behind him. It wasn't just one growl, though. There were more. Maybe 10 in total. Cat looked up to see all 10 of his dogs standing around the man. Some of them not too far from the cat's attacker. One wrong move, and he would attack. You really think a pack of dogs can stop me, Cat? Mr. A mused with amusement, holding the sword in his hand and in his soul. There's one thing my never-resistant target understood that you would clearly do not, the cat grunted simply. Never underestimate my friends. Or my dogs. That's a fuck you. 3 dogs pounced on the man, sitting on top of the cat, as Tempe managed to sit up, looking to see the other 2 men running from the few dogs that were chasing them. The cat watched as Mr. A pulled something out of his pocket and threw it towards him, just as 3 dogs went to attack him. The cat went to scramble away, only for the man to teleport next to him and lunge straight at him. Stampy screamed as the blade hurtled towards him as he went to dodge the blade. However, it managed to cut his shoulder. He cried in agony, peeling the flames, coating his arm and part of his back as he collapsed to the ground, writhing in pain. With tears, you could see a couple of his dogs attacking the man, causing him to fall backward and drop the sword. A few moments passed until the fire effect on the sword wore off as he struggled to sit up, watching Mr. A struggling against his dog pack, were now all chasing him. He went towards his overpowered sword, wanting to stop the man or his allies from using it. However, before he could get to it, he spotted someone from the corner of his eye, lunging towards him. Cat looking up in horror, surprise, unable to escape. He was already in pain from the shoulder injury. Saw too much. He just wanted it to be over. Unfortunately, we're going to have to end that there. I hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, enjoy this lovely cliffhanger. Yes, I am allowed with that cliffhanger. The next chapter will be out soon, and hopefully you're ready for it. Thank you so much for watching. See you later. Bye.